Welcome into our business spotlight on WCSJ. With it being a Friday, that means it's Morris Hospital Day, and our guest, Sherri Davis, pediatric physician assistant at the Minooka Healthcare Center of Morris Hospital at the Ridge Road campus. Sherri, thanks for your time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Maybe we'll open up with a little background on yourself before we dive into today's topic. What can you tell us about your work career and how you got to Morris Hospital?
Sure. I've been a pediatric physician assistant for the last 9 years for Morris Hospital. I was lucky enough to do my ER rotation at Morris Hospital, and then was introduced to Dr. Hart at that time, who was looking for a pediatric PA, and now I'm lucky enough to work with Dr. Fezerman at the Ridge Road campus.
Excellent. So today it's a pretty important topic, especially at this time of year. I know we're starting to wind down summer for the kids, but
Right.
Maybe they're sitting at home, spending even more time on their devices, on whether it's their phone or laptop or even TV. I want to try to limit some of the screen time for children. So an important topic, and the availability of electronic devices has really changed for this group of kids. When we were kids, we certainly didn't have the same type of devices they do now. So there's so much more that kids can do and get involved in and spend time staring at a screen. It's a big problem, isn't it?
Absolutely, Mike. I feel like nowadays when you deliver your child, it's basically you get a choice. Do you want Android or Apple service?
Right.
And it's just wrapped up into your labor and delivery charge at the hospital. So kids are being delivered right out with an electronic device, whether that be an iPad, an iPhone, a tablet, something of that nature. So it's definitely more accessible than it ever has been, and it's good and bad. This gives children access to a lot of information, which is good, but we don't know about the quality of that information as well. And because unfortunately sometimes kids are spending way too much time, they're not just using it for the informative nature. They're tending to play games, and it's almost used as a babysitting device as well.
And there's a lot of, bad info online, of course, and things that children should stay away from. So what do parents do to first maybe identify that there is a problem? Are there some signs they should look for, or just even amount of time that's being spent? Because I'm sure at some point it becomes a bit of a health risk if you're on it for too long. And then what do parents do to try to help rectify things?
Sure. Well, the American Academy of Pediatrics recently updated their guidelines too, so we can start there. They really recommend that under 2 years of age, you really shouldn't be spending any time in front of a screen. And then between the ages of 2 and 5, it should be really limited to under 1 hour a day. And that's of high quality screen time. So you, as a parent, you should be responsible for pre-screening what your kids are going to be looking at. So you know what they're going to be getting involved in, and is it educational, is it not? There's a website out right now called Common Sense Media, which is nice because it allows parents to actually look for those educational apps and tools versus just looking for the little blurb maybe on the app's description that says educational, because everybody says that now. And as your kids are using their electronic devices, are you seeing any changes in their mood and their personality, especially with some of the video games, with some of the violent video games? Do you see any violence, any poor language choices? Are they not sleeping well? Are they not getting the recommended amount of exercise and outdoor time that they really should have? And if you are starting to notice those changes, really try to see, are they spending too much time on these devices?
Are there some tips for parents that would like to try to limit screen time? Are there some good tactics they should try to use so that it's not a combative situation with their child, because the child's obviously not going to like the new rules that might be implemented? What are some good ways parents can try to limit screen time?
Well, first off, remembering that they're the parent, I think.
Yeah.
It's really bothersome when people ask, how do I get my child off of these devices? It's simple. You just take them away. If you're not willing to do that, or if you're looking obviously for a less confrontational approach, I recommend sitting down with your family and actually coming up with a media plan. And there are even websites to help you do this. Yes, so more media. But you guys can sit down together and come up with a plan as to what's expected out of your children. And instead of focusing on limiting screen time, how about focusing on other things that they can be doing with their time? Getting outside, playing with friends outside, volunteering, getting involved in their community, coloring, doing actual puzzles, reading books instead of being on their electronic devices. And then as parents, that's why the plan is so great, because as parents, it's really necessary that we're good role models for our children, because they're looking at us like, why is it fair that they can't be on their devices, yet we're on them for hours and hours a day? And it's not just educational. You know, adults are just as guilty of being on Facebook and Snapchat and all the social media websites.
All right, so if folks want to find out more and maybe get a little counseling on how they can limit some screen time, that's where you come in. How do they contact you and maybe set up an appointment?
Sure. I am available at the Minooka Healthcare Center of Morris Hospital on Ridge Road. Our phone number is 815-467-1518, or you can find us on the website morrishospital.org/pediatricians.
All right. Sherri Davis, thanks so much for your time, and we appreciate it. Maybe we'll talk again down the road.
Sounds good. Thank you, Mike.
It's our Business Spotlight, Morris Hospital on WCSJ.